This is Julie Pearson, Little Thunder. Today is April 10th, 2013, and I'm at Northeastern State University in Tahlequah interviewing Forman Ross. Mr. Ross, you're a member of Cherokee Nation and the great-grandson of Chief John Ross, and one of many Native Americans who have served our country. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me.
Yeah.
Where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was born in Kenwood, Oklahoma, and actually I grew up at Sequoyah Indian School up here. Yeah. On the plains of the football field, I became a man.
Wow. So we're going to correct that, and Forman, you're the great-great-nephew of Chief John Ross.
Right.
Did you, at what age did you go to Sequoyah?
I had to be 13.
13, okay. Yeah. So prior to that, did you grow up around the speaking Cherokee?
Where I grew up, well, my mom died when I was about 6 months old. And gradually later on, my dad found a woman. I had a stepmother, and we just didn't cut it off real good. Mm. And in our house, both languages were spoken. That's how I caught it fast. English, no problem.
Right.
We spoke both.
Right.
Cherokee and English.
And you grew up in that Kenwood area, around the Kenwood community?
Yeah, up till 12 or 13 years old. And then I asked my dad if I could come to Sequoyah to get more education. And he said, okay, and that's the best thing he could do. I wanted to leave my stepmother so bad. Mm. And that's when I left and came to Sequoyah. So
Sequoyah boarding school was a good place for you?
It was a good one.
And you played football?
That's where I became a man. Great story behind it.
You are a career military man. You enlisted in 1955. How old were you?
Well, you figure I must have been 19, 18, 19. Because I had to quit school for about a year and a half, high school, and feel sorry for myself. It's almost prom time, okay, and nobody supported me.
Oh.
And I found a way to do it. I started going to wheat harvest.
Oh.
And making money, and I came back to Sequoyah. So that's why I graduated at 19. I stayed out a year and wised up.
And were you wheat harvesting in western Oklahoma or in
Kansas?
Kansas?
Oklahoma,
okay.
Alva, Oklahoma. And I had me a car when I was a junior. You know, that's something that
that is.
I think about that.
That is.
Had it right here on campus, but they wouldn't let me keep it on campus. I had to take it off campus. They said if you can afford a car, you can afford to go to public school.
Right.
But anyway, that was my life story. It turned out okay. But I knew I was going in the military when I was at high school, because I was in the National Guard, and I loved it.
I see, okay.
I said, that'd be a good thing for me.
So you got involved with National Guard at Sequoyah,
yeah.
And you knew you were going to enlist.
Oh, yeah.
How did you choose, which branch of the service, and how did you choose?
Well, I chose that because I was in the National Guard, and so I went in the service. I didn't pick no certain job descriptions. I just went in. Mm-hmm. I went in unassigned Army. And what Uncle Sam did, looked at all my grades on my test. And the highest I had was electronics. So Uncle Sam sent me to missile school. at Fort Bliss, Texas. And that's how I ended up in missile school. And then that was a tough course because it was September through March, about 6 months school. And missile was new in those years. In '56, the guided missile was new. And I finished it, but boy, it was hard though, because I never had no algebra in high school, and a lot of questions in the missile field about math and stuff like that. It was tough on me.
Oh, I bet. So you were being trained to repair missiles, which were
No, to fire the missile.
to fire the
We were
missiles.
firing
Okay.
the missile, underground and everything, the whole works. And I did a good job of missiles. Had me a van in between the IFC, we called it, and the launching. I was in between. I had a van there and just tapping buttons and relaying message back and forth. They couldn't fire a missile till they came through my van. We had to okay it.
I see.
Being an officer there.
So were they simulations? What was it real?
Just simulating right
Just
here
simulations,
in the
right.
base, but we had the warheads in them.
Yes.
Well, we fired every year at White Sands and Fort Bliss.
Okay.
We came to fire from New York. We flew in, fired 3 missiles to keep in shape. Went back. In Germany, them troops came back here to fire and they go back. So that's how real touchy it was in those days.
Yes, right. Are you talking about East German troops?
Yeah, Western Germany.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Our
I mean,
troops.
I'm sorry. I meant
Our
Western.
troops over there.
Our troops, our American troops that stationed in West Germany. Yeah.
Come back and fire wherever there was that.
Right.
Yep, and then I got tired of that. I stayed there 6 years. I was getting a good duty station. Anywhere I wanted not to get, where there was missiles.
So you could have gone anywhere in the world, you're saying,
Yeah.
or in the United States where
Yeah.
there were missiles.
Because I was secret cleared and everything. I had that credential. In '61, I was sitting in my van, air-conditioned van, in Bay of San Francisco. I had it made. And I was sitting there, and me and my assistant, and I read this paper. It was Army paper. It had, "Be a man, eat snakes." I said, what is that? And I looked, and it was Special Forces. And I didn't know it was new. It said something new. It said, "Be a man, eat snakes." I said, boy, that'd be an experience. And I'm sitting there, and I made up my mind. I was going to re-enlist in a month. And my commander came in the van. I said, "Sir, I'm going to have to leave you." He said, "Why?" I said, "No, I want to re-enlist." I said, "I'm going to Special Forces." "No, you ain't." I said, "Yes, I am." I said, "You can't stop me." I said, I can volunteer for it. And he said, "You don't want to go to Special Forces." And he was already airborne himself. He said, "If you want wings, I'll give you mine." You know, he had. I said, "No, I'm going to make my own." And sure enough, that's how I joined the Special Forces.
Now, you mentioned that Special Forces was new. Can you explain what they did, what they focused on?
Not everything.
Okay.
We got them today, Special Forces. They go behind the lines and everything, and that's all I can tell you.
Okay. But a part of it involved being a paratrooper. Part of it involved.
You got to be a paratrooper to be in Special Forces.
Right.
Yeah. And I went airborne, Special Force Airborne, at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
At Fort Bragg, and it's 101st
No,
Airborne,
no,
right?
Okay.
Okay.
That was 82nd Territory there.
Okay, 82nd
Airborne.
at Fort
I
Bragg.
went in combat with them in '65. We're in South America.
Oh my goodness.
Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's another story.
Yeah. So what was it like when you made your first jump? We have a wonderful picture of you, which we'll show later, getting ready to make your first jump.
Well, I couldn't tell you because all my jumps are night jumps. Because I had my eyes closed now. It was an exciting time it was.
Yeah.
A sensation. I love it. The idea of that wind going about 200 miles an hour and that wind taking you, it's nice. I couldn't.
Closest we get to flying, sort of.
Oh, yeah.
So once you made your first jump, you were kind of caught. You loved it.
Oh, yeah. Loved it. I knew I was going to be a paratrooper.
What other kinds of training did you have in Special Forces? What other kinds of training?
Training?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, there's so many different types of what we got, survival, on your own and all that. We had it in regular airborne, too, survival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, from Fort Bragg, where did you go next?
Well, I stayed in Bragg from 61, man, to 72.
So from your mid-20s about to your mid-30s.
Mm-hmm. Except I go overseas and back, you know. I always come back to Bragg because I was a jump unit there, and that's where we got our jump pay. And that's the only unit that in Kentucky. Only two bases we could go to as a paratrooper.
Mm-hmm. So you went to Germany, West Germany? Is that where you went overseas?
Everywhere, really. Korea, and I always came back to Bragg.
Mm.
Yeah. And when I went to South America, it was the 82nd Airborne. I came back in 66 from South America. 2 or 3 months later, I was on alert. I went on my way to Vietnam.
Mm.
And then I joined the 101st Airborne over there.
Okay.
The other airborne unit.
Now, I just want to clarify, when you went to Korea, was that for exercises or was it during combat, during the...
No.
Okay.
Peacetime, just a duty over there. They call it, I went there with my family, really, Korea, and I'd already been moving around, and my kids wanted to finish school in one place, so I took a hardship tour, 11 months in Korea. Dependent couldn't go with you. I guarantee you 3 years back here. After you came back from Korea, Uncle Sam let you stay 3 years wherever you was at. So that gave me time for some of my kids to graduate.
Yeah, that's an important factor we kind of forget sometimes, isn't it?
And I took 2 tours like that. And my kids tell me too, they tell me the other day, Dad, you sacrificed, didn't you? Little do you know. Mm-hmm. And yeah, twice I did that.
But that allowed them to finish school. Yeah. Were they going to school here in Tahlequah, or were they in Oklahoma City, or wherever you were?
It was going to
North Carolina must have been.
North Carolina at one time, and, and Fort Hood, Texas, another one. And they got to stay in the same quarters on post. When I went, they could stay there on quarters. I guarantee me coming back there, see.
Right.
So I could say I'm out of good stuff.
Yeah. And in the Dominican Republic, it was also for exercises that you were doing when you went to South America?
We went in.
That was a combat situation.
You bet. We left Fort Bragg, and they told us we're going in, and we had our commanding general talking to us, and we were going to make a combat jump in South America. And about halfway there, it's only about 5-hour flight, 4 hours. Our commander got on the plane and told us, we're not going to make a combat. He said, we're going to land. He said, our pathfinders already went in, and they said, don't need to make a combat jump. They said, it's not bad enough. So.
Can you remind us of the situation? What was the situation that the United States was ready to send soldiers to war there? I can't remember the...
In 1965?
Yeah, in
it was,
South America.
The communists took over that country.
Okay.
They overrun it.
Okay.
And they asked for help for us to come over there.
The government asked for
Right.
help. Right.
And so that's what we were doing there.
Okay.
LBJ was the president then.
Thank you.
Yeah. And he was talking on TV every day. We really had a lot of television coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, Santo Domingo is on the same peninsula as Cuba, Havana.
That's right.
That's on the same. And Castro said he was going to send his troops in. And LBJ told him on TV, Castro, you know how he talked? He said, bring them on in. He said, the first Cuban soldier that comes on this side, he said, I'm going to blacken your sky with parachute.
Mm. And you would have been one of
we
them.
told him, wait a minute, LB. And Castro didn't do it. Yeah, LBJ was something. He said it on TV.
Uh-huh.
And he told him, he said, I'm going to blacken your sky with parachute.
Now, you mentioned, especially with your missile training and then being a paratrooper, there weren't many other American Indians in your units.
What's that mean, huh? I'll tell you about missiles too. Fortunate enough, we got extra pay by being through missile school. And we had to take a test every year, and you had to make 70 or above to keep the extra pay, $30 a month. That's a lot of money for private.
Yes.
And, that was something. Because a lot of time.
Tell her about that guy you run into overseas, the one from Kenwood. Remember you ran into each other?
And can you say your name for the tape?
Wanda Buzzard.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Wanda.
About what?
Remember you ran into your friend? He was afraid.
Oh, okay. That was in Santo Domingo. And they were GIs over there, no shirts on, about 15 of them. And me and Sergeant Major was driving by in a Jeep. I said, stop it. I said, there's an Indian over there. And he said, hey, how you know? He said, they're all facing the other way. Sergeant Major, that's the Indian boy, one of them's Indian boy. And all them bodies over there. And I went up there and I poked this guy in the back, and sure enough, it was an Indian boy. And he started bawling as soon as he saw me, because he was a hometown boy.
He was, and that, he was Cherokee.
Yeah, I could just tell it, his body.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm scared and all that. Hey, I'm scared too. Go on. He was low ammo. It was funny though. And Sergeant Major said, how'd you know? I said, Indian Sergeant Major, we know it. It's just something to it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like my daughter was graduating at Notre Dame, and there were hundreds of graduates lined up in the big auditorium, and the parents were sitting up here in a row, and they had their hats on, same color, and they were turning around, and I said, that's my daughter. And the parents said, how in the world you know they all look alike? I said, the one, I said, it's Karen something, her program or something maybe. He said, all right, we'll watch, we'll see. So 100 of them are coming down the aisle, and they had passed right by us. We were sitting there. We're going to see. And my daughter come here and they said, "Hi, Dad." Because it's part of your flesh.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
Thank you for that story. You mentioned that you did then serve as a paratrooper in Vietnam.
Yeah.
How soon after you arrived did you see combat?
Probably 5 or 6 days in Vietnam.
Mm.
Big operation going on.
Mm-hmm.
Big operation. Yeah, I spent 3 of them in Vietnam. Ivanhoe, Hearthstone, one more, I forget what they are. 3 major, there's a name for every operation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what was your rank at that point?
I was E6, staff sergeant. I came back SFC, started first class.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was really your first combat experience, right?
No,
Because
South America.
South America, but that was aborted because you had to turn around and come back. You didn't actually, there was no actual fighting when you,
Where?
in South America.
Dominican Republic, they were fighting.
But didn't they send you back?
No.
Oh, okay, I
What do
misunderstood.
you mean they sent me back?
Well, I thought they called the paratroopers back in.
No, we wasn't going to make a combat jump.
Okay,
See, we supposed to make a combat
I
jump.
see.
They said it wasn't hostile enough.
Yeah, but there was still combat.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
you
bet.
didn't
They
jump
had the
into
city.
it. Right,
They had Dominican Republic, the communists,
right.
and we had to take it from them.
Okay,
It didn't take long. It took
Yeah.
about 14 days.
right.
Yeah, we took the island.
But your first combat, did you have your first combat jump in Vietnam then?
No combat jump.
No combat jumps. Okay.
Very few. One unit had a combat jump, but they had one man hurt. He sprung his ankle, so they shouldn't call it a combat jump.
And maybe it was hard territory to jump in, I imagine.
No, it ain't. It can be hard as rock. You'll jump.
Uh-huh.
You gotta have hostility. It's gotta be so bad. It's warranted for a combat jump.
I
If
see.
you don't, it wouldn't be a combat jump.
Right,
See?
right.
So you wouldn't want it handed to you that you made a combat jump.
Right.
That's the way it was.
So there are 2 different kind of jumps, or what?
Yeah. A regular jump is that kind we make, and combat jump is when they're firing at you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And then, yeah.
Like Normandy invasion, stuff like that.
Right,
That's
right,
combat jump.
right.
Yeah.
Did you see a lot of casualties in Vietnam?
Quite a bit.
Mm.
Quite a few.
How
I
did?
came back with a plane load.
Oh.
I escorted a body back, my nephew. Well, I escorted another guy from West Virginia, but I got back to San Francisco. They changed orders. My nephew had got his out,
Oh.
so we had to change orders.
I see.
Yeah.
That must have been tough. Did you have any contact with the South Vietnamese outside of combat? Like
Oh
any?
yeah.
What were your impressions of the South Vietnamese people?
They were just what we call peasants, I guess. Third world country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I had it working for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were they building something or?
In a shop.
Okay.
I had mechanics and stuff. Oh yeah.
Did you continue to do different kinds of mechanics while you were serving?
Oh, certain different things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That needed repairing or
Yeah.
building. Okay. Did you run into more American Indians in Vietnam that were
You know, that's
the
something.
101st?
I never ran into no Indians hardly.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were in other areas.
Yeah.
What are a couple of your memories of Vietnam that aren't combat related, that just are of the country or the people?
Like what, for instance?
Well, just a couple of experiences, maybe when you were on leave or...
Well, I give you some incident. A mess sergeant told us to kill a young water buffalo. We would have to eat sea ration. You know,
Yes.
canned meat.
Yes, yes.
So we did. Killed a young water buffalo and gutted it and staged it up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He cooked it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an experience for me, everybody.
Mm.
That meat tastes good, though. We hadn't had meat like that. The more you chew, the bigger it got.
Wow.
So we get the flavor out and spit it out and get another bite. That was an experience there. It's water buffalo meat. I don't know why, it just swell up.
And
As you chew,
that's interesting.
that was an experience there.
Yeah. You'd hunted before. Had you hunted a little bit as a kid growing up, I'm sure, in the country?
Have I hunted?
Had you hunted a bit as a kid growing up in the country?
Oh, yeah.
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 Did that help your marksmanship skills when you were in the service?
I think just a good training in basic helped me. I paid attention. I was expert all the way through my Army career from that basic.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to the instructors, they're telling you right. I was always an expert.
Were you ever taken prisoner of war?
I was too fast. They asked me, a lot of them asked me, Ross, you got the Bronze Star, and you don't have a Purple Heart? I said, I'm too fast, man. Y'all are slow, you know.
How did you get the Bronze Star?
That's a big story. You want to hear it?
If you're willing to tell it.
You sound like a lieutenant. When I got the Bronze Star that morning, I let it stay around my neck and with a ribbon. So I went to eat, and that's everything in Fort Bragg. And I just let it hang there. I was proud of it. And all them sergeants was eating with me. And the sergeant said, Ross, you got to admire over there. And I looked over there, and there was a lieutenant, second lieutenant. Oh, he kept looking at it. And they said, first thing they said, here he come. I said, all right, let him come. He came over there. He said, excuse me, Sergeant, how'd you get it? And I kept ignoring him. I said, Sergeant, tell me how you got it. I said, all right. So I turned around, and I heard the rest of the officers, they was right next to us. And they said, we told you, Lieutenant, that sergeant's going to get you. And I said, yeah, tell me. I said, well, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, there was an enemy coming at me. Oh, boy's old mouth was open. I said, there was another enemy coming after me on my right. Oh, tell me more. He was eating it up. I said, on my left, another one's coming. And then, he said, I said, they killed me.
Joe. You got him, didn't you?
Oh, they cracked up. No, I got that at 2 o'clock in the morning. The commander told me, Ross, I'm putting you in for the bronze. It caught up with me about 8 months later. I forgot all about it, what he told me.
Wow.
And I've been back in States. It took that long to follow me in.
So there had been an attack at night.
Yeah, it was at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
A big attack.
Mm-hmm. Did you sustain any injuries? Did you have any injuries?
Too fast, I tell you that.
That was that football background.
Yeah.
You didn't have any part in battle planning, did you?
No.
Okay.
No.
How did you keep up your morale when in Vietnam?
Sometimes I ask a question. I guess just talking amongst the sergeants, keep it going. I guess
Mm-hmm.
tell us about day activity and all that. If you keep it to yourself, you go crazy. You got to talk it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you get back to stateside, go ahead and talk it out.
Mm-hmm.
You won't need no shrink that way, A lot of veterans, they always talking about they went to see a shrink or something.
You had each other to talk with,
Oh, yeah.
and you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the man upstairs, I always talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was that an important thing for you to get you through?
Oh, yeah.
How did you stay in touch with your family?
How did I get in touch with what?
Your family. How did you stay in touch?
Letters, mail.
Did you have lots of supplies? Did you have plenty of supplies?
Not that many, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. How about, what was the food like?
Food
Mm-hmm.
and military,
Mm-hmm.
the best. Oh, yeah.
Even in Vietnam during the
Well, we had
combat
sea rations
situations?
like Russian soldiers,
Mhm.
canned food, but it's survival.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No griping.
Mm-hmm. How did you might have already talked about this? How you dealt with the pressure and the stress? Was there anything else? Any other way that you dealt with the stress of any moment you could be in combat?
I don't know. You stayed ready all the time. I'll tell you how the pressure was with me. I got tight when we landed in Saigon. My chest, it stayed tight. Supposed to stay over there a year. I stayed over there 11 months. I told you I escorted my nephew back.
Mm-hmm.
And it stayed tight. It didn't loosen up till the plane landed in Travis Air Force Base in California.
Wow.
I remember that. You
Just those
You
muscles.
were just staying tight all the time, ready for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that now. It did.
Was there any other extended family you had in Vietnam besides the nephew? Was he the only one?
No, I'm the only one.
Mm-hmm.
And this is volunteer because paratrooper is volunteer. Where the draftees, they got sent over. Where we had raised up our right hand, they could send us anywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was there anything special you did for good luck?
I think so. Nope. I can't think of none.
Was there any entertainment in camp? Did you entertain
Once in a while.
yourselves?
Yeah. Bob Hope.
You saw Bob Hope show?
Oh, I've seen him 2 or 3 times. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen him with all his bunch, his women. Yeah. And the round-eyed American. Yeah, his round-eyed girls. Well, we've seen him flat-eyed.
How were they received by the soldiers? How was Bob Hope? And
Bob Hope, he's different over there with us, okay?
Oh.
And he's not like you see him on TV.
How was he different?
Oh, come on now. He was one of us over there, okay? And the girls are one of us, okay? They're different too. Oh, yeah.
Good.
Only if Americans would know. I saw Joey Harrington. I seen a bunch of with him. Oh, yeah. They're all American girls. Yep.
Did you play any pranks on any of your, well, you played a prank on the lieutenant with your story, but did you play any pranks, not necessarily in Vietnam, but just in the service? Do you remember any pranks that you pulled?
They played on me.
What was one?
My buddy did. My Sequoyah buddy, he was with me in Fort Bragg. He's already a senior jumper. And when I got my wings, he came over to the house. I said, all right, I'm airborne too now. He said, no, you're not. He said, you ain't real paratrooper until you can look down when you're going to land. See, they tell you don't look down. They say look at treetop level where you can loosen up and roll, you know, when you get. He said a real paratrooper, just before he sees treetop level, he'll look down, then he'll land. He told me that. So I got back on the plane a week later. And as I was coming down, I said, he told me to look down, to be a paratrooper. So I said, I'm going to look down. And I was about 500 feet off the ground, and I looked down, and that ground was coming at me. I said, That's what he wanted me to do. Boy, that ground is coming. And you're coming down, and hit on my butt.
Oh, so you kind of went off balance.
Yeah, I raised my leg. No, I raised my legs.
Oh, you raised your legs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boy, I hit on my butt hard.
Well, he got you, didn't
He thought that was funny.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What are some of the benefits then that the military had for you and your family?
Well,
Some of the good things.
my kids, a couple of them got help through college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's after I was 100%
Mm-hmm.
service connected.
Right. Right.
Yeah. That's the benefits. What else?
And because of your choices, they got to stay. They didn't have to travel quite as much. They didn't jump around.
Right. They
All the
finished
time.
high school one place.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But
then-
I sacrificed.
Right. That must have been awfully lonely. How did you make it through?
Hardship tour, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it.
Mm-hmm. Did you get, even on a hardship tour though, did you get to come home for a couple of
Been
weeks?
to it. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like 6 months. I
Okay.
make it home for about 20 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that must have been difficult in a way too, because you see how much your kids have grown. Like, you're not there when you're there every day, you don't see it.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just used to my kids being with them. I had twin boys, and that was something to look forward to.
Oh, yeah.
And my 2 girls and twin boys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
When you got back from Vietnam, did you continue working in the service? When you got back from Vietnam, did you continue serving in the military still a few more years?
I was still in the military, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I stayed in 27 years. And one comical thing, while I was in hardship tour, they give each guy 10 minutes to talk free on the phone from there at a certain time. You tell the family back home what time to be available. So my time came, I said, okay, Ross, you got 10 minutes. And the kind of phone you use is field phone, like off a Jeep.
Right.
And they got you connected through all the way back to Texas. But I heard the communicator inside say, ma'am, when you say something, say over, like military style. Like, I love you, over, you know. And she got on the phone. I said, hi, honey, I love you, over. And she went, geek, 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 geek. And she couldn't talk. And we wasted 10 minutes of her laughing, you know. She just couldn't handle it. Well, no one, American women couldn't handle it, saying over.
Right.
Yeah. So we didn't communicate.
Oh.
So, oh man, I forget how much it cost to talk. I want to say $3.50 a minute. That's about right, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Talk overseas.
But the Army paid for that. The Army paid for it.
No. Yeah, if you had paid for it, you know.
Oh, okay.
It would cost you about $3.50.
Right.
Yeah, military was free.
Yeah.
Because there's that GI line.
Right, the GI line.
Yeah. That was kind of strange.
So you retired from the military in about the 80s? 82?
82. Dad
Okay.
told me to.
Your dad told you
He
to?
was still living.
Was he living around?
I was going for 30 years, see?
Yeah.
I had 27. And he sent word, tell Sonny to get on out.
Mm.
And I got word up there. So next day I went down there and started putting my paperwork in. I got out, and it's a good thing because he only stayed with me a year after I got out.
Mm.
He passed on.
Mm-hmm.
He knew what he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I minded.
Mm.
No regrets.
Mm-hmm. What was it like coming to Kenwood, coming back to Kenwood? Is that where your dad was living at the time?
Yeah.
After all those experiences to come
Yeah.
home, what was that like?
It was good to be home. Yeah. Good to be home.
Did you have to adjust a little bit? Was it hard to? No.
No, I'm an old soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you have a community church down there that they kind of had a special doings for you?
I got the association. That's about 50 churches. I was the brotherhood director of all the churches.
Ah.
So I had pretty good myself for about a year. No, about 10 years, really, I was brotherhood director.
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed that.
And did they have any special doings for you in Kenwood community when you came back?
We set up a committee.
You mean like a celebration
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
when you come home?
No.
No.
they were glad I was gone so long, okay?
He didn't tell you that there's a lot of natives from Kenwood area that went into services. And they got a, tell about your wall.
You have at the house?
At the school.
Oh, at the school.
Like
Your
what?
veterans wall.
Oh, memorial? Yeah, we put that up.
On the community, at the community hall there in
Yeah.
Kenwood?
He instigated
Shoot.
that and got it going to,
You don't realize a little old town like that, of how many veterans came out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Same thing we got at Sequoyah. We got a big one there.
Right.
Yeah.
And you, that was a good thing. You started that at Kenwood, huh?
Mm-hmm.
In the.
And I helped with that in Sequoyah
Mm-hmm.
with George Cameron. Yeah.
And you were also honored by Sequoyah. You want to tell us how Sequoyah Institute has honored you with the Hall of Fame?
Oh, yeah, okay. It was an honor. Yeah. You know, of all the honors I've got them wall full at the house. In my den, that's for my grandkids. I got all the awards. That ain't nothing compared to one honor that I honor the most. You know what that was? By being captain of the football team. Really. For 33 players that elect you. That's the biggest honor.
That is a big
The
honor.
heck with my Bronze Star and all that. But just being a captain
Mm-hmm.
and going out in the middle of the field, starting of the game, shake hands, God, you know, I get cold chill off yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's an honor to be a captain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never forget that. It don't seem much to regular people, but it's an honor.
Mm-hmm.
that Hall of Fame thing, it's to recognize what he had done to help children, to motivate them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, at
It's
Sequoyah.
written on it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll take a look at that again. I understand. What veterans organizations did you join when you got back home?
DAV, Disabled American Vet,
Okay,
American Legion, and VFW.
and VFW.
Yeah, all of them.
Great. How did that sort of? Did you guys help each other then by having that camaraderie and being able to talk together? Why was it important to you to join those organizations?
Just because I joined a couple of them because I was eligible for them.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You gotta do certain things to be eligible.
Right. Right.
Like not just anybody can join a VFW. You gotta be a veteran of a foreign war. Not just anyone can join. Same as the American Legion. So, it's just an honor.
And you're also a member of the Cherokee Nation Warriors Society.
That's Cherokee Chief did that for me.
Mm-hmm. Was that Chief Smith or who?
Smith.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And they're a newer group, aren't they? Are they new?
Yeah, Baker's a new one.
Yeah, but the Cherokee Nation Warriors Society, that's a newer group,
Kind of a newer group.
about 10 years old or something.
It ain't been that long, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that's what Chad Smith is there. That's it.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Within the last 20 years, maybe.
Okay. Why is it important for veterans to share their experiences?
Well, for the veterans that might about ready to go off the rock, might go see a psychiatrist. It's good for those kind of people
Mm-hmm.
to have a veteran group. It would help them out.
Mm-hmm.
But like I told you, I own all my problem out by talking it out with other veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, yeah.
And you've spent a lot of your time volunteering your time in the community in different ways.
Yeah.
And your work with children is part of the reason that you were elected to
youth.
Sequoyah. Can you talk a bit about your work with youth?
Well, we set up different programs with youth. We have tennis. We had tennis tournaments when school was out with youth. Oh yeah, I had good instructors. They didn't know what tennis was, so I put a court in down there. We got a tennis court down there. I didn't push it enough. They played for about 2 or 3 years. You got to stay with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's at Kenwood.
That's at Kenwood.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. We rebuilt the court, the sports field. But you got to stay with it, and they're not staying with it.
Mm-hmm.
You leave it to the younger generation.
There might be one come along that.
Might be. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you like people to know or remember from your story? The things we talked about today.
What now?
What would you like people to remember or learn from your story?
I'd say they can make it regardless what situation it is. If I made it, I guess they can make it. If a poor boy can make it on his own, since the age of 13, I was on my own. Mm-hmm. I'd buy my own clothes and everything. You can do it. And you're proud of it too when you do it. Like I told you, when I had that car, I'd get up at midnight, go across the road, go look at that car to make sure it's real. I'd do that. And I walk back. It's a long way from Sequoyah. Go across the highway just to make sure it was there. And I was so proud of it, you know. And it's just the way it was.
So,
oh boy.
Reason to be proud.
Yeah.
Well, is
and
there?
I always had pocket change. I always had pocket change since I was a sophomore. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I try to run from them girls at dormitory. They see me coming, they just pile in. Because soda pop was only 5 cents, and you know, peanut was 5 cents. It didn't cost much, just the idea of setting everybody up. And sometimes I'd go way around and come creeping in and get my soda bottle. And they catch me. Yeah.
You were the popular man on campus. You were the popular guy.
No, it's money when you got money, okay?
Yeah.
I think that he's got a story that he told me that's, I think, really relates to how he got started and how he showed that he was willing to do more than others. It's a story he told me about when he first got to Sequoyah, and then they told him to go suit up for football.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We never seen a football in Kenwood. Me and my cousin was on the sideline. It was in August. And this big old man come up there with a whistle around his neck. He said, "What grade you in?" He said, "Rough." "Nice." "And you?" "Nice." He called a field manager. "Come in. Take these two down there and get them suited up. They're going to play football." He walked it down there. Yeah. We got the leftovers because everybody got the other uniforms that had been there. And I looked like a little Abner. I come out of there, my shoes that long, toes sticking out. They give me a size 14 shoes, and I'm standing there, and breeches leg hanging way down there, my football uniform. And they give me a number 1 for my jersey and my padded overside. I was proud of them, though. I come up there and they stopped the whole training. Okay. Oh, no. They looked, laughing at me. I was standing there, you know. And they got ready to scrimmage, so and Tommy told me, come here. So I got up there. You can see how we didn't have no face mask in my day.
Oh.
No face mask. So he got down. I said, what did I do? He said, anybody that's got the ball, you hit him, knock him down. I said, that seems easy. Anyone got a ball? The ball I got down there. First play I went through, it was a trap play. No one blocked me till I got inside, and boy, someone just screamed. He just picked me up. Boom! And I hit the ground. I said, ouch, that hurts. And just scratched up everybody. Oh, yeah. That's all right. I was mad then, though. My leg and everything hurt because he hit me hard. So I got back down there, and Tommy said, no, that's enough. I said, I want one more. Tommy said, all right. So I got that. The next play, I got that quarterback.
You did.
He's trying to run. And that's it. Oh, that quarterback was mad. He's one of Malo. It was Malo. I snatched him down. Thomas said, that's what I'm talking about. That's the way you hit. And I made the team from then on.
Wow, that is
That's
a
how
good
I made the
story.
team.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that we should know about you or your career in the military?
No, I just, Uncle Sam was real good to me all the way through. I have no regrets. I got what I wanted in the military. How good Uncle Sam was. I already had acting corporal stripes before I even put a uniform on in basic training in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I got them? We was down there and we're waiting on people to come in to fill up a company of 250 men. We had about 100 when I got there. And we've been there about 5 days. Enough time for the boys to ride home and get letters already. We're still down there in civilian clothes, waiting on to fill up a company. And about the 6th, 7th day, we was down hot. It was in July, end of July. And it gets hot in Arkansas. And that sun beating down. Everybody had to fall out from Elkhorn. So, man, I ain't writing no letters, you know, but I had to be out there. So I'm sitting out there, I'll never forget, and this old southern boy, a red-headed sergeant, he was up there calling mail. And you know how a southern boy talks. He said, when I say your last name, you give me your first name, you know, on mail. He was up there hot, and he's up there on that stand. He said, when I say your last name, give me your first name. And it was hot, and boy, people said, oh man, talk faster. And he gave him one letter at a time. So I'm sitting there, I said, I don't have to take this. His mail was in the back of him in the box. So I just jumped up there on my own and got me a handful of mail. Roger, James, boy, I handed that mail. and just knocking out some letters. And my man is still on his second letter. John, you know. And I had all that mail going. And I jumped off at the stand, and I walked him back towards the barracks because there was no more mail. And someone caught up with me. Hey, troop, the sergeant wants to see you. So I turned around, boy, this old It looked like a zebra standing there with all them stripes on. He said, I like the way you handle yourself. He said, go to the supply room. Go get you some action stripes. You need to be a leader. You need to be with the initiative I had.
Yes.
All I want to do is get out of the sun. And that's how I got to be a corporal from day one.
That's a great story.
That's all right.
They wanted to get out of the sun too, so.
Yeah. Well, you ought to heard this guy calling the mail. Boy. That's about it.
Well, if you don't have anything else, I want to just thank you for taking the time to talk with us today
All right.
and sharing your story.